and welcome to the Wheel of Crime Podcast, the podcast where two ladies play games, shout profanities, and laugh way too often. Also, this podcast does cover topics of sensitive nature, and as such, listener discretion is advised.
Hello, and welcome back to the Wheel of Crime Podcast. My name is Jen.
My name is Emily. Welcome back to another week. It's such a joy having you here on the show, Jen. How are you feeling?
Oh, you know me, so fresh and perky and
The most
loving life.
perky. Yep, just so super sunshine. Nothing but sunshine and butterflies.
Emily and I literally yapped for about an hour before we started recording, and I genuinely could yap to her for 5 million years. So you guys are in luck because we have a podcast that you are listening to.
This is true, and last I checked, that's literally the point, is you sit here and you yap, for like ever, pretty much.
She's literally my favorite person to yap to.
Oh my god, you're my more than yap to. But no, as far as like updates for how the week has been going, I feel like I've just kind of been reading the next book in the series that you and I have started. I've been working on that. I've been doing my workout thing. As far as like things that are different, nothing too crazy going on, but I did have a weird moment the other day where I must have been sick or something this week. I felt fine, but I like had a day where I was like talking to people like on the phone or whatever, and my voice was just so weird sounding. Like like I don't know if phlegmy is the right word, and then in my brain I was like, do I have allergies? Because this would be the right time of year for it. So I was like, I don't know. It was weird though.
What the heck? That is bizarre. But if someone was going to contract a random illness, it would be you.
It
like
would be me.
Hentavirus? Is that what it's called?
Hepavirus. Emily's got hepavirus. No, you're talking about,
I don't know.
Hanavirus. The old people on that cruise ship got it somehow, and now they polluted the nation.
If anyone was gonna get it, it would be Emily. She would be patient zero on that boat.
I just licked an envelope and sent it onto the cruise ship. That's how it got there.
Patient zero has been here all along.
It's true, it's me. But no, I was telling Jen before we started recording today that, I don't know, I feel like this last month it's just been, like, things have been pretty good for the most part, but I've had a couple just random weird sad days, and one of them was entirely because of a Costco hot dog, so that was a rough day.
Well, now you got to elaborate.
Of course. So, it's just been a hot minute for me since I've gone to Costco, and it's just I don't really live near one anymore, but I was really craving a hot dog. Because I'm like, it's kind of baseball season. I could really go for a Costco, like, Polish sausage with some pickled peppers and sauerkraut, because, I'm old school like that. And, I rocked up to this stupid Costco, and I went and I got my $1.50 hot dog, and they got 0 condiments. They're like, upon request, you can have ketchup and mustard and nothing else. And I was like, this is genuinely the most depressing hot dog I've had in my whole life. I ended up, I did not tell Jen this part. So, to save me from my own misery that I caused for whatever reason, I decided to take the expensive French fries that I bought and layer them in the hot dog so I could pretend that it was something fancy.
You know what? I probably would have done the same.
Right? So I'm like, here, it's slightly less depressing now. But,
It's a fry dog.
yeah, it's so trendy. It's a fry dog.
It's just the coolest, lightest thing.
It's so hip. You're such a hipster. Oh, God. I haven't thought about the word hipster in a long time. I don't know where that came from.
That came from the archives, girl.
Some cobwebs shot out of my mouth as I was saying that. I could almost,
yeah.
I could almost feel like the black theater sunglasses with the lens popped out and the fedora just almost flew out of my visage or visage.
Monsters
or
of Men started playing quietly in the background.
Yeah, followed by Mumford and Sons.
Yeah,
and the Lumineers.
Strumbellas.
And a very, very, very long cardigan that dusts the floor. A duster! That's what they're called. Duster cardigans.
Those were the days.
I could still rock one if I wasn't literally like 5'3", so.
I think you could anyway, you know? Like, who's to tell you that you can't wear your Converse with your dress? You know what I'm saying?
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. But
In the wise words of Demi
in
Lovato.
the Demi Lovato, you know, she's just full of so much wisdom. I never should have doubted her. But what about you, Jen? How's your week been? Or month, I guess, if there's something that we haven't talked about yet on the show that you've had an experience with where you're like, yes, this is my big break, this is my big moment.
No, nothing crazy. Just been reading Onyx Storm with you finally. I'm very excited to be onto that book.
You make me feel so ridiculous sometimes because I'm like, yeah, I'm making some good work on this book. I'm probably so ahead of Jen. And then literally before we recorded today, we were just rehashing a little bit of what's been happening in the book series right now, or the book. And Jen was like, yeah, I'm on chapter like 35. And I'm like, oh, cool. I'm on 21. Woo!
39.
Oh, sorry, 29.
39.
39!
39! And I'll probably get a little bit more into it tonight because I'm going to go on a nice little walk after we record. So.
Girl! Ugh. Maybe. We'll see. I doubt I'll catch up, but I'm doing my part.
I love that for you. I'm just happy we're reading it.
That, me too. I was a little worried with how slow the last one has gone, but that stupid big bitch is back. There's 3 of them!
Maybe they're vultures.
They're coming for me. They're like, we heard you're dead inside. It's time.
Emily's got vultures circling her home.
Actually, though, they're these huge... What the fuck is happening? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're multiplying. There's 6 of them. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know why there's these big-ass predatory birds circling my home. They're like the size of albatrosses. Not actually, but it feels like it. I saw one swoop in front of my window, and I was like, ah! But anywho, that is besides the point. But
they're coming for you.
Yeah, with how slow our last book was, I was very concerned for this one, which is why I immediately just went straight into reading it, because I was like, I feel like if I even take a moment to breathe, I'm going to be like, but what if it's so slow like last time? Which thankfully it's not. I feel like we picked up the pace quite a bit, which is nice. This is what it needed.
Exactly. So I'm doing that, doing my little boxing and working.
Yeah, you're like, I'm just basically too busy being cool. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just so cool.
So cool. All right, but I am ready for the Wheel of Questions because it is my episode today. Whoa. I don't know.
Hell yeah. All right, ready?
Yes. What is the most likely haunted object that you could find? It can be anything, but it has to be something that you feel like you could buy or find and be absolutely right 100% the first time that you interact with this thing that it's haunted. Like, this is like a guaranteed thing.
Oh, for sure. One of those creepy ass dolls from the thrift store.
Yeah, like, are you thinking...
You can feel the vibes coming off those things.
It's true. They got that stank on them.
They do have that stank on them. I'm like, a small Victorian child who died a horrible death owned you, and now you're here. You've been passed down through 5 generations, and everyone has mysteriously died.
Yeah. The thing I'm literally picturing in my head is like one of those like burlap dolls where you can tell it's something that they made at home, and it's got like human hair sewed into it for the head.
That's disgusting.
Freaky. For me, I feel like if I was like a guaranteed like, oh, this is definitely the most haunted thing that's ever existed, I would either go the route you did, which is definitely a doll or some kind of like strange homemade children's toy of like miscellaneous origin, or I would go with like a painting that definitely looks like it was like handmade by somebody like in a dark room. I feel like that might also be like a very likely haunted object.
Yeah. Ugh. Creepy. I hate the vibes of that.
The vibes are off. All right, well, let's spin for our next question. If you had a haunted object buried outside of your home, what do you think it would be, and who would be the one to find it?
An upside down cross.
For you?
And Emily knows exactly
Yes.
why.
Oh my god, I thought you were going to say it would be me who finds it. Which, you know what? Maybe, actually. Maybe, actually.
No, I think it would be Dewey who finds
It would be Dewey. So Dewey would find an upside down cross and bring it into your house?
Yeah, and then, we'd be fucked. The ghosts would be like, we were invited in!
Yeah, like a
Hell
vampire. Yeah, he let us in. He knows us by name. And it's just Dewey barking his head off.
Yeah. That would
makes
be my
sense.
fate, wouldn't it?
So if I had a haunted object buried outside of my home, what would it be and who would be the one to find it? So, for me, I live in a very, people-y area. I honestly feel like if I was going to find a haunted object, it would be like a coffin or something.
Oh my god.
Or like something that was definitely like made by people, but it's not supposed to be here. Because like the area, so not to approximate my location, but it's like the area I live in has had people coming and going from it for a really, really long time. And it also used to be at one point a place where the First Nations groups in the area would tell everybody to not live there. So of course I live there now. And I feel like it would be very like on point to find something like that, or like a headstone or something. You know what I mean? Like one of these things where you're like, ooh, why are you here? And as for who would find it, it would not be me. It would not be my husband. I don't think it'd be anybody in my house. It would be this one off-leash dog that hangs out in the neighborhood that would find it and bring it into my house somehow. Yeah, it would just be Dewey. He would find it and bring it in my house.
Why did the indigenous people of the area say not to live there?
So I guess it's just got a little bit of folklore to it, where there was a couple of different rivaling First Nations groups in the area, and they had this huge battle on the lake shore on one of the sides, and basically in what I've been told, it like in the story, they're like, there was just a redonkulous amount of like bodies and blood that all ended up in the lake, and so they basically and nobody won in this fight. They kind of just came to like a standstill. So it turned into, this is like a no man's land. Nobody goes there. It's tainted with death.
Ooh, fun.
There's been a couple different stories of like people seeing ghosts around like the lake shore, like walking the shoreline in some places because of the amount of death and stuff like that. So thankfully it's
Have
nothing
you ever seen a ghost there?
No, I actually haven't. I've been trying to talk to some of my neighbors, but it doesn't sound like it's necessarily our area that is the part that's haunted, allegedly. It's further north from where I am. So I need to befriend some of those folks and be like, hey guys, where's the ghosts? I have a friend.
Show them to me.
This is really important to them.
Oh god. All right, well, let's spin for our next question.
Yes. What would you do?
On my finger.
What would you do if your neighbor had a haunted object and then weird shit started happening in your house?
I'd give him the old 1-2. Be their final day.
You're like, I've been boxing. I'm ready. I knew that this day would come.
I have been weight training and boxing. I'm buff now, okay?
You're like, listen, you told me you had a haunted object and now weird shit is happening in my home? I don't think so. You and that
Keep that
are
shit.
getting your asses beat.
Keep that shit on your side of the fence.
Your haunting, not mine. You keep it to yourselves.
Take it back.
Oh my god, what would I do if my neighbor had a haunted object and then weird shit started happening in my own house? I feel like I would be so desperate. I'd be offering all kinds of trades. I'd be like, listen, I understand that you really love this random thing, but it's impacting my quality of life. What can I give you for you to give me this object so I can get rid of it?
You know what? I like your tactic. It seems very calm, mature. But I think mine would work out better. Beat them up.
Yours speaks to my heart. And I feel like that's the part that matters.
You know what? If your method doesn't work, I'll come in with my boxing gloves and we'll try mine.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll give it a good shot, and then I'll call in the big dog.
Exactly. You know?
All right. Let's spin for our last question. In your opinion, what is the most haunted country on Earth?
Oh, it's gotta be... Like, I feel like when I think of, like, a haunted location, I'm thinking, like, London, like, the UK.
And for me, it's the same thing. I'm like UK, Europe.
Scotland.
I feel like even when we were in Europe, there was always, like plaques up or, like, historical sites where they're like, here's this ancient whatever that's been here since 800 BC. There was murders here. And you're like, of course.
Even in London, where they're like, oh, look, this is where Jack the Ripper killed his final victim.
Yeah, or my favorite is when Jenn and I were in London back in 2018. This would have been literally like hours after we touched down. I was reading a little sign while Jenn was trying to figure out how to take us to the London Bridge. And I was like, wow, what weird looking fences. And then there's literally like a little sign up that is like, these are the recovered hospital beds from World War II that were once fences made into stretchers and hospital beds and then were made back into fences. And I was like,
that's haunted for sure.
That's tough. Yeah, that's haunted 100%. 100%. Never heard of a haunted fence, but you know what? They got them.
You guys got everything. They got haunted fences.
All right. Well, what do you think my story for you today is?
Oh, we're for sure revisiting your haunted object series.
Correct.
I love getting 100%.
It's true. I feel like it's been a weird thing. I didn't think that there were that many like interesting haunted objects or what have you until I started covering them more, and then all of a sudden they just keep popping up in like my research when I'm covering new things, and I'm like, turns out shit do be haunted.
I can see that, you know, like there's lots of people, lots of deaths, tons of stuff ready to be haunted.
Right? Just waiting. Cooking, waiting to be haunted. But,
marinating.
Yeah. I'm gonna read out the description for you, and then you can tell me if you've heard of it before, which I'm like, for this one, I'm pretty confident you do not know what this is.
Well, I'll be the judge of that. Take it away, Em.
The Hexham Heads were a pair of small stone heads, about 16 centimeters high, found in 1971 in the English town of Hexham. The heads became associated with alleged paranormal phenomena, but their exact origin is a point of controversy.
I've totally heard of them before.
Oh, yeah. For me, it was strange because this came up to me as something that's like, apparently, if we have any listeners from England, they can vouch in on this one. A controversial, we'll call it, story. So I was like, it's weird in all of my years of doing this show that I've never heard of this before, but yeah.
I'm an expert on the heads, you know?
Yes,
it's what I went to university for.
Oh, I forgot. That's true. You went to Head University, where they only teach you about stone heads and nothing else.
Yeah, I know. It's a pretty impressive degree. I'm the only one who has it.
A degree for giving head?
Yeah. Well, I'm not the only person who has that particular degree. I feel like there might be a few people.
Oh my god, that's funny. I love that. That's good. Well, I guess would it be a degree for giving or receiving? I feel like because you get the degree, it's giving, but also, I mean, it's an applicable science, right?
I feel like it's equal parts giving and receiving. Very generous in that way.
Oh, yes. I see. I didn't go, so it makes sense that you would be the expert.
I'm just so well educated that
she is. She's an icon. Of truly well read, well scholared.
Exactly, in head.
Yes, only nothing else.
Yes, just head.
Oh, with that, I'll get into my story here. So,
get out of here with that.
I don't know what's happening. So, The story of the Hexham Heads begins in February of 1971 in the market town of Hexham, Northumberland. That's not the place. Northumberland. Yes.
Whoa.
England.
Yes.
I'm also educated.
Hell yeah.
So, two brothers, 11-year-old Colin Robson and his younger brother Leslie, were digging in the garden of their family home on Reed Avenue when they uncovered two small stone heads buried in the soil near a window. The heads were only about the size of tennis balls, but they were unusually heavy and had deeply unsettling features. Which, I like how they were like, oh, they're just so small. And to me, I'm picturing like doll heads, like originally before I made my notes. Baseballs, dude. No. Tennis balls. Same thing, basically. But, like, that's way bigger than what I was thinking originally.
It's sizable, for
Right?
sure. You couldn't put them all in your pocket at once.
What, two tennis ball-sized heads in your pocket?
I mean, I guess if you was only two, maybe you could.
Maybe in man pants. I don't know about lady pants. Those are pretty shallow pockets.
Yeah, I think it would depend what kind of pants. You know, maybe like my sweatpants.
Oh, yeah. That'd be good for a pair of sweatpants, I feel. But they were unusually heavy and had deeply unsettling features, which is so cool. So then, the weird thing is that one of the heads appeared to be more masculine, with rough carved lines across the top that resembled hair, while the other one had wide, bulging eyes and had a more distorted expression. Both were hollow underneath of them, and they looked crude, ancient, and oddly human. Like, they couldn't really tell at first, because they were like, oh, like, it looks, head-ish, but it's like, I feel like vaguely human is a very different description than something clearly human, and I don't know if I like that.
Almost more Uncanny Valley.
Definitely more Uncanny Valley. So then, at first, the boys treated them kind of like strange curiosities, but according later to reports from the Robson family, unsettling events soon began happening inside of their home. Objects allegedly moved on their own, glass bottles were reportedly thrown across rooms, family members claimed the heads would change positions when nobody touched them, and some accounts even described the heads rotating overnight to face in different directions. No.
That's disgusting.
It's like, imagine having these little tiny busts, right? Because a bust is just a head of a person. Now imagine you have small ones and they're just spinning in the night. You're like, oh, it's facing one way. Oh, no, now it's breakfast time and it's facing somewhere else. Cut the cameras. No, we're not doing this.
That would send me into another dimension, and I don't know how these people deal with that for more than, 1 second, because that shit would be out of my house so fast. If I even thought for a minute that shit was moving on its own,
it would send me
it'd be
straight
lit on
into
fire.
Psychosis, dude. I'd be like, that's it. If I'm having to write or tell another human being, yeah, I have these heads. They just spin around.
No, I'm sorry.
Me?
I'm lighting them on fire. Okay?
Well, they're made of stone, so I don't know if that's gonna work, but
I'm gonna do it anyway.
You know
Try
what?
and stop me.
Live your truth. You should.
I will make them into dust, and then I'll light the dust on fire.
It's giving the Yzma from An Emperor's New Groove, and then I'll put it in a box, and then I'll put that box inside another box. It's very fitting.
Exactly. That's where I got my inspo from.
Right? Jenn knows who her inspiration is, who she wants to be when she grows up.
My icon.
So then, yeah, the heads spin around, which is disgusting, and then the disturbances also spread next door. A neighbor named Nellie Dodd later claimed that during the night, one of her sons had screamed after feeling his hair being violently pulled. Shortly afterward, Shortly after, Dodd herself reportedly saw what she described as a dark creature leaving the house, something she reported as a half-man, half-animal figure. I in my world, I'm like, oh no, that was just your husband. You
so
forgot.
Hairy.
Yeah, he's just so hairy. You just forgot. But no, freaky. And then in later retellings, the creature then becomes also associated with a werewolf-like entity, which is also known as the Hexham Wolf. Which I feel like I think we've talked about the Hexham Wolf before. I'm pretty sure, as being one of the first werewolf tales. But it would have been pretty early in the podcast, but to me, when I was making my notes, I was like, yes, it's all coming together.
I have the memory of a goldfish, so you could tell me again, and I'd be like, oh man, what a great story, Em.
That's what I hope, because I'm the same way. But no, yeah, if my neighbor was like, oh my god, we found these creepy heads that just spin in the night, and then things are happening in my house, I'd be so mad. I would be so mad.
Literally, I'd sue, and then I'd beat them up, because suing wouldn't be enough.
No, at that point, it's just offensive. I'm like, listen, we live beside each other. We chose this. I did not ask for your freaky ghost heads to start ruining my quality of life.
And disturbing my husband in the middle of the night.
So I guess to run out of the house looking like a half-man, half-animal figure. With no pants on. Now everybody thinks he's a cryptid.
Oh, including me.
Yeah. So then, at the time, local fear around the story escalated really quickly. Some residents began connecting the sightings to older Northumberland folklore, particularly stories surrounding the so-called Allendale wolf, which is like another like werewolf-ish figure. A mysterious animal that was blamed for livestock killings in the early 1900s. And then, as the story spread, the heads eventually came to the attention of Dr. Anne Ross, a respected scholar of Celtic history and religion. Ross was well known for her work on what historians sometimes call the Celtic cult of the head. So in ancient Celtic belief systems, the human head was sometimes viewed as spiritually powerful, associated with the soul, divinity, and the otherworld. Stonehead carvings have been discovered at archaeological sites across Britain and Europe before, which immediately made the Hexham Heads interesting to her. Ross believed that the objects could potentially be Romano, British, or Celtic in origin, and she took possession of them for study. But according to Ross, the strange experiences continued after these heads arrived at her home. I feel like, here's the thing. In my mind, growing up thinking about, like, you know, potential jobs you could have one day, I feel like something like archaeologist, paleontologist, you know, like, you dig old shit up and preserve it and, you know, be smart about it or whatever, was always so appealing to me. Never once crossed my mind that you could find
a haunted object?
Yeah, a haunted relic. I feel like I've just associated that with, like, specifically thrift store finds, that it just, like, I just never thought about it.
See, it definitely crossed my mind because I watched The Mummy, which is basically that. And, so yeah, demons, they be up there, apparently.
You know, I should have thought of The Mummy. Didn't even cross my mind. That
Think about, you know, the dirt where they find, like, dinosaur bones is the thrift store of the wild.
You know, they might be onto something. You know, the thrift stores are dirty. Dirt is dirty. It's like the same thing, you know?
You're scavenging to find something cool, you know? You don't always find what you're looking for or anything at all.
You're sneezing a lot because you've got all this, like, dust up your nose.
Yeah, but when you do, it's amazing.
You do,
and then sometimes you bring it home and you realize the thing that you found is not good at all. It's just a bunch of shit.
Not as cool as you thought it was, and it actually looked way better. It looked way better where you found it.
Exactly. So you just have to put it back because it's haunted and turns your husband into a cryptid.
But maybe that's what you wanted. So it's kind of like,
to each their own, you know?
Their own. So then, after several nights after bringing them inside, Ross later claimed that she woke up during the night feeling intensely cold and frightened. Standing in the doorway, she said...
It's a good sign.
Yeah, right? But also, it's so funny. I literally did the same thing, waking up feeling intensely cold and frightened a week ago. And that's because I slept with the window open and my cats got into a fight at 4 a.m. So, can confirm, having lived through specifically that experience, not a good feeling. Waking up cold and frightened is like bottom of the list of feelings.
Yeah.
But the reason that she woke up cold and frightened was because standing in her doorway, she said, was a tall, dark figure that she described looking part human and part wolf. And it's not that woman's house. Yeah, it was her husband. All of the husbands are turning into wolves.
You never know.
Fucking
weird
crazy,
things have happened.
Right? But I do think it's interesting that it's kind of like, yes, in the proximity, but it's like, whatever is going on with these heads is just invoking wolfish energy for some reason, which I think is really interesting.
Maybe the heads are the werewolves we found along the way.
Maybe the real Hexham Heads are the werewolves we found along the way. You know what?
Exactly.
Facts. I do also like the idea because they only found the heads, right? So I'm like, if you're finding half man, half wolf things, like maybe the heads originally belonged to like wolf bodies and you just haven't like found the rest of it.
They haven't found the whole artifact.
Right?
That's an interesting theory.
They gotta go back. Gotta go get the rest of them.
Dig them up.
Dig them up. Because that always leads to good things that we're really happy about. Is more digging.
Exactly.
More digging. So then later she recalled the figure as being around 6 feet tall, slightly stooped, and covered in dark fur. She followed it downstairs before it disappeared. Maybe this is your husband.
She's braver than I am.
She's definitely braver than me. I would not be doing that. If I woke up and saw a 6-foot, hunched over, hairy man standing in my doorway and he left, I'd be like, I'm here. I'm staying exactly where I am, and the police can figure that one out.
I'm just gonna burn my house down with me in it, so that my eyes can just not see this.
Put the covers up by my neck so I can make sure I'm nice and warm when the fires take over my bed.
Exactly.
Oh my god, so scary. So then, a few days later, Ross's teenage daughter, Bernice, reportedly experienced something similar. After returning home from school, she claimed she saw a large, dark creature descending the staircase before leaping over the banister and vanishing into the hallway. Which, at that point, I'm like, why bother with all the ruckus? If you're not even going to stick around long enough for anybody to really see you, like, what a wasted haunting.
What a pussy.
Super pussy. For a wolf creature, that's something only a pussy would do.
Like, literally be a little bit more intimidating or get the fuck out of my house.
Yeah, stand your ground, be horrifying, or leave my home. Those are
or why
options.
bother? You're just waking up in the middle of the night for nothing.
Yeah, you're like, scare me for real or get out of here, okay? Right now you're being a loser.
Why are you waking me up for literally nothing?
Yeah. Let's see. So then, Ross also described the disturbances in the home after the head arrived, which included sudden cold sensations, unexplained noises, and doors bursting open without explanation. Importantly, though, none of these events were ever independently verified. So only she and her daughter experienced these things, and then the neighbor. But nobody was ever with any of these people when these events happened. So then...
Classic ghost.
So then, over time, skeptics began challenging pretty much every single part of these stories. Some researchers argue that the case had snowballed due to the media attention and suggestion, and more newspapers reported on the heads, the more dramatic the paranormal claims seemed to become. Others pointed out that many witness stories changed over the years depending on who was telling them. Which at the same time, like, I feel like you probably know a little bit more about this because you have a background in, like, journalism stuff. I feel like that's pretty normal for, like, stuff that ends up getting reported on is, like, oh, this is what happened. Oh, now we can make it bigger. Oh, it's been a few years, and now we remember it as being something else.
It's like a game of telephone, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So then, some researchers argue that the case had snowballed due to the media attention, or, never mind, that's the paragraph I just read. We'll skip that. So then, changed over the years on who was telling them. Then came an even bigger development. A man named Desmond Craigie stepped forward and claimed that the Hexham Heads were actually not ancient artifacts at all. Craigie
They're his head!
It was his! He showed up, no head, room for two!
It's him and his conjoined twin's head.
It's incredible! It's him and his brother! No. So, Craigie said that he had actually made the heads himself back in 1956 when he was living at the same property years before the Robson family moved in. And according to him, he'd created the heads out of concrete as toys for his daughter, who had then buried them in the garden after one of them became damaged. So then, Craigie...
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Craigie worked in the concrete industry at the time, which also makes his explanation seem plausible. He even produced replica heads in an attempt to prove his claim. Which also, I'm wondering how rough your daughter is if one of them was damaged. What happened?
She smash.
Yeah,
That's why he's like, You're breaking too many toys? You only get cement now.
Well, yeah, if you're giving your child concrete for toys, she's probably fucking buff.
She's
Strongest
the
child
she's
who's
the
ever
wolf.
existed. Yeah, she's the wolf. I'm surprised she's not just like, I don't know, punching through walls at that point. Like, what do you mean?
Maybe she is. We don't know.
That's true. That's true.
He should have just shown his daughter and be like, look, she's the Hulk.
You're like, look at her biceps. My claim is obviously true. She grew up playing with concrete toys.
She can deadlift like 5,000 pounds.
You need to see her at the gym. She's crazy. She's playing with those dumbbells like nothing. Legos. They're basically Legos to her.
Basically.
So then, he made those replicas to try and prove his claim to him making them. Then, meanwhile, a geological analysis from experts in Newcastle University reportedly actually suggested that the heads had been artificially molded rather than hand-carved in an ancient style. So, okay, now we're kind of getting to the point, which is, these are not ancient. They're modern cursed objects.
Totally different ball game.
Totally different. So then, if that were true, that would completely undermine the idea that the objects were ancient Celtic relics. Yeah. But strangely, though, even after all of this, the mystery didn't die there. Because at this point, the Hexham Heads were already transformed from a local oddity into a full-blown British paranormal folklore. And one major reason for this was a BBC television segment that was aired in 1976 on the program Nationwide. This broadcast featured Anne Ross discussing her experiences with the Heads and included dramatic clips from the Hammer horror film The Curse of the werewolf starring Oliver Reed. For many viewers, the combination of supposedly real paranormal testimony and horror imagery left a lasting impression. Which is hilarious. Because, at least for me, it's so different thinking of media in 2026 and comparing it to the media of the 70s. Because it really doesn't feel that long ago. But for media to be, on television back then, a lot of people were just taking literally anything that they saw, kind of like today, at face value and being like, oh my god, I can't believe this actually happened. So for us, we're like, yeah, just because somebody goes, and does like a news report basically being like, the Heads are haunted, and there's like a horror movie playing in the back doesn't really mean anything. But then for folks in the 70s, they were like, oh yeah, that's like the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life.
The BBC put this on, it must be true.
Exactly, right? It must be true. So the broadcast became infamous among paranormal enthusiasts in Britain, and for decades, many believed the footage had been permanently lost. Then, in 2024, the BBC announced that the archived audio from the original segment had finally been recovered and restored, which revived interest in the case once again. As for the Heads themselves, their current location remains unknown. After passing through the hands of several researchers and paranormal investigators during the 1970s, the original objects eventually disappeared, as everything does. All cursed objects, grow legs and disappear somewhere one day.
I bet it's in the fucking Warren's basement or whatever.
Yeah, what are their names?
Ed and Lorraine.
Ed and Lorraine Warren in their basement, or in Zach Bagans' Museum of Mystery or whatever it is he has in Vegas.
Or they
return to the earth.
Are being played with by a hulky toddler.
Yeah, either the giant toddler stole the Heads back because that's her favorite toy, or they have been reunited with their wolf bodies and are terrorizing the woods of Hexham once again.
So many possibilities, really.
Oh, so many possibilities. Some stories claim both the Heads and one... What am I saying? Some stories claim both the Heads and one later owner... Okay, never mind. I didn't mean to say that. And one later owner vanished entirely, though there is little evidence supporting the more dramatic versions of this claim. And most likely, the objects were simply lost, discarded, or misplaced over time. But even without the original artifacts, the legend survives. Today, the Hexham Heads occupy a strange place somewhere between archaeology, urban legend, paranormal folklore, and media-driven hysteria. So, were they ancient
Maybe they're
rituals?
in the astral plane.
They're definitely in the astral plane. So were they ancient ritual objects tied to forgotten Celtic traditions? Were they simply homemade concrete toys that became the center of a growing supernatural panic? Or did fear, suggestion, and television transform an ordinary discovery into one of Britain's strangest modern legends? Whatever the answer is, the Hexham Heads remain one of the most enduring paranormal mysteries that have come out of 1970s Britain.
You know, as a girly who likes to often believe the logical explanation of this, I'm finding it really hard to get behind I made my daughter concrete toys as the logical explanation.
To be fair, this is the 70s in England. I don't know what those folks were like. For all I know, everybody could have had concrete toys back then. But I also have a hard time with that. For me, but here's my thing too. If they are having rock scientists study this thing too, and they're like, whatever it is, it's a replica, and they can't tell me whether or not it's concrete, that tells me it's not concrete. So it's a non-concrete...
Concrete's, like, easy to distinguish.
And that's what I mean. I feel like you don't need rock scientists to figure out whether or not something's concrete. So I'm like, okay, so these heads are a modern creation of some kind, made of rock, that's not concrete, and they oogity boogity summoned a werewolf and then poofed off into the astral plane at some point. So I don't really know. I don't know what to make of any of it.
I want to see a picture of that toddler.
Me too. I hope that toddler looks like Popeye. Like literally just Popeye
They've
with
got
a
it.
fuck-ass haircut. That is the only thing I want to see.
They've got to. Like, otherwise I'm not convinced.
Oh my god. But yeah, I don't know. So what do you think about these heads? Do you think they're like a genuine cursed ancient object, or is it a little bit more... What do you think? What do you think the most likely thing is happening here?
Like I said, it's hard to get behind the quote-unquote logical explanation because it's so weird.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess I could believe that someone who worked at a concrete factory made these weird dolls for his child. I don't know. Seems weird. But none of the explanations feel that good to me.
No. For me, I'm kind of like... I don't fully believe that the man made concrete dolls for his daughter. Not to say that I don't think he tried, because it sounds like he did. But I think the original heads are probably something... I believe they're not, like, ancient. But,
yeah,
you know what it's giving to me when I was, like, reading through my notes? That somebody had seen some ancient heads, and they're like, oh, I like them. I want to make some at home. And they got, like, all crafty with, like, rocks they had at home. And then at some point, they were like, this looks stupid. And, like, threw them outside, and then somebody else found them. Like, that's kind of what it sounds like to me.
Yeah. That is an explanation I could get behind.
Right? Because that's what makes the most sense to me. Because I'm like, okay, if it's confirmed that these are, like, legit not ancient, they're, like, more modern, but they also resemble, like, Celtic relics, then I'm like, okay, so maybe somebody went and had seen one of these Celtic relic heads, and they're like, I could make one of those at home. And then they tried, and they're like, it's fucking ugly. And then threw it out back where the rocks go.
And they're like, wow, my husband is really hairy. I need a reason for divorce.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, how can I garner some hatred for hairy men? Werewolves. Got him.
He's a cryptid. Help.
Yeah, he's a cryptid. Somebody called the police. Also, haunted modern heads, anybody?
Yeah.
But yeah, so that is my story for you today. A little bit shorter, but I couldn't not talk about these weird, stupid heads. It was too fun for me.
I love it.
I had to. So,
especially since I'm a head expert.
That's what you did go to Head University. You're the only person I know who graduated with a degree in head.
You're welcome.
We're all thankful. So, if you liked today's episode, make sure to leave us a review on wherever you're listening to our podcast. You can also check us out on our website, which is www.wheelcrime.com if you want to check us out on there. We also have our Patreon, which is Wheel of Crime at Patreon. We have our...
Big shout out to our Patreon subscriber, Heather. We appreciate your support.
Yes. Thank you, Heather. And we also have our email, which is wheelofcrime@gmail.com. And then we have our social media, which is on Facebook, X, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Wheel of Crime. And lastly, we do listener episode stories throughout the year. If you would like to, if you listen to today's episode and you're like, I have a degree in head too, you can write into the show and tell us all about it. And we do have a listener stories episode coming up for a confirmed date, and that date is going to be August 28th. So, like I said, if you listen to this episode or any of our episodes and feel inspired, you can check us out on our social media, upload your story into the form provided in the link there, anonymously, of course, and potentially get your feature on our next listeners episode.
Yes, and that's it. That's all. We'll see you next week for another new episode. Okay, bye.
Bye.